This broadcast is dedicated to two young brothers out of Dallas, Josh the Blade Rhodes and Maximum Max Justice. These young brothers gave me the idea to do this broadcast, and I know it's a lot of people out there who are intrigued by the extraterrestrial talk, and you know um, how the white man he makes these movies. He's been making movies forever about alien encounters and extraterrestrials and things of that nature. So, you know, our people are never, at least not in this current time, we don't really ever talk about contact with extraterrestrials and Greys and Ramardians. They got all kinds of names. We know the ones the white man shows us. And he shows us in the movies, and it always kind of looks the same. They always kind of look the same: gray, black, big black eyes, big heads, and slits for mouths, and things like that. They always kind of resemble the same outlay, the same. It's like the same form, right? And they talk about different species of gray. If they don't look like that, they look something like the white man. You don't see any Asian extraterrestrials. You don't see any black extraterrestrials. You only see the white man portraying himself as an extraterrestrial. And he also only talks about his encounter with extraterrestrials. We're going to talk about all that. Why is it that you don't hear more black people talking about encounters with extraterrestrials, not the average black person anywhere? We're going to discuss that tonight. I am the intellectual Nubin Menkares, and this is State of Mentel Radio. And tonight, of course, we're going to be speaking about why extraterrestrials are not in contact with black people. Actually, extraterrestrials were in contact with black people. Let's go back to the Dogons. Right? Then they always speak about Amma, who was their god. They referred to the god Amma and these beings, and they wore these and some of them still, they would wear these head pieces on top of their head that, if you take a look at them, they actually resemble antennas. Reception. They talk about being in tune with beings from another world, which is how they received their intelligence on things like Sirius A and Sirius B and the planetary alignment and things of that nature. That was extraterrestrial connection, way before the white man was talking about it. In fact, we go even further up. You see the Egyptians, all the gods up there, they were always talked about coming out of the skies. The Sumerians talked about Nibiru and Anu and Enki. So we can't say that black people didn't have any contact with extraterrestrials. But the question is, why is it that we don't have it today? Very simple. We're not empowered to receive it or receive beings on a higher level. Look at the state we in now. See, the white man, he's been trying to make contact with extraterrestrial beings since the days of religion. In fact, the whole God story in Jesus and them being from another world, whether you call it in the heavens or whatever, is a primitive way of saying extraterrestrials. Whenever you talk about God and Jesus, it's just a primitive way of talking about extraterrestrial beings that are beyond this terrain, beyond this planet. That's all it is. That's why he's talked about religion. His talk about religion was trying to link him to something beyond this world. And talking about Greys and all these other beings, when he did take hold of the planet, then he started to see or have contact with these beings, because he got in charge. He became head of the planet. He started to take over the planet. So they would come to people who were in power. They would share intelligence with people who are in power, right? However, what the Greys are actually beings who are created from another world, just as the humans are created on this planet. These are beings who are part of a creative force. They are creations, not creators. They are no different than the humans. However, they were spawned somewhere else on other planets. These are life forms that left other planets and were constantly in search of other planets to inhabit, because the way they look, how the white man shows them, is due to the planetary destruction or the wearing out of their world. Eyes getting big, nose getting small. Those features are due to pollution and all kinds of other things, because if you look at it, when the white man talks about that, he talks about it a lot on Ancient Aliens. He says, oh, and it's possible that human life might end up looking like these beings, as we go on, and the world is so resources depleting, the ozone layer is penetrating, the sun is penetrating the ozone layer, and it's getting hot on the planet, and, the gases and things like that, and all the things that, the people are going to survive, they're going to go through an evolutionary change. So he's basically saying that in time, the human race are going to look like Greys. They're going to look like Ramardians. They're going to look like these beings. They're going to take on these forms as we start to deplete the resources on this planet. Same way as those worlds when the white man goes to places like Mars, and he goes to places like he's eventually come on Venus and all these other planets and whatnot. They're trying to find a suitable planet to inhabit when this planet burns out, because it's going to come a time where the planet is going to go through an evolutionary change, and it's not going to be fit for human life. As the sun heats up, as your ozone layer starts to deplete, it's not going to be habitable for the created life forms, because the created life forms, the human race, come out of the water. So if you have heat or sunlight or rays come into the planet, then it's going to take hold of the planet and burn a lot of it. They talked about in the Bible about the planet being destroyed by fire, sun fire or solar fire. Right? You see the humans dying in droves from cancer, skin cancer, melatonin. All these things are part of an evolution. These so-called Greys, or these ET-looking creatures coming here, is part of an evolution. These people represent to the white man beings of higher intelligence, advanced beings who are ahead of the human race. So the white man and the powers that be, they ask for these beings. They put the thought out there. They put their satellites out there to call these beings, to bring them here, so that they can exchange intelligence. Right? They did it accidentally, though. They didn't mean to bring, they just put the satellites out there after a while, because they found out that these beings were coming here, and have been visiting here because they've been looking for space to inhabit. And they connected with these beings. These so-called Greys, they recognized the frequency coming off of this planet of people praying, especially the secret societies and the secret orders praying or talking to or sending out thoughts of making higher connection, advanced connection. Notice they always refer to extraterrestrials as intelligence or advanced intelligence. They don't refer to them as informative beings. They refer to them as intelligent life forms. So they recognize these so-called extraterrestrials, Greys, or whatever you want to call them, as intelligent beings, those who are also in reception. Beyond this, that's why they look to make contact with these beings. They talked about finding these beings. They talk about the in 1950, Roosevelt, the president at the time, coming in contact, and a lot of the secret service and all of them coming in contact, and they talk about big on talking about Area 51 and that they had a great air and all of this. you know, like I said, a lot of these things, these occurrences started happening more and more after World War II. Because after World War II is when this country, or when the white man or America became a premier nation, it came to power. World War II made this country. It took it from a second and third world country, or really second world, to a first world country. Put it in leadership role, right? So these Greys kept the powers that be, the white man kept them in a position of power through intelligence, through advanced technology that they had as gifts from the Amun beings. Because the Greys were created by the Amun beings, the God race. They're nothing but another creation. They're nothing but an advanced creation from the human creation. Right? Mutants. This is what they are. This is what the white man shows you. That's why he makes a connection with them. If you look on the feed, he's showing you pictures of Greys with blonde hair and whatnot, showing that this is what they're morphing into. All right? Now, the reason why these type of beings that he shows in his films and things like that don't come to black people, or these so-called extraterrestrials now, is because you're not what they are. Okay? You're not of the created. The creations are going to, of course, communicate or make a contact or identify with those who are part of a creation as well, artificial beings. That's what your Greys are, that they show you. They're artificial beings. They're not natural life forms. We are the only natural life forms on the planet. All right? When I say artificial life forms, I mean those who were bred in water. This is why, if you notice, the white man always says, whenever he goes to look for life on a planet, he says, what did he say? He goes to look for what? Water. Water is the first sign of life on a planet, because he knows that all human life was bred in water. The Greys were bred in water. It's no different than how the white man is trying to do now, where he produces test tube children in petri dishes and he does all kinds of stuff in petri dishes which have water in it. Same thing. He's just following after the order of the Amun beings, which we are descendants of. Hell, black people talk about, why is it that these beings are not coming to us? Why are the extraterrestrials not coming to us? Y'all are extraterrestrials. You are extraterrestrials. The white man know that. He knows that you're not human. I kept saying that. And maybe this is not going in the heads of a lot of our people. You are extraterrestrials. Black people are extraterrestrials. You're not human. You weren't bred here on the planet. You didn't come out of water. You came out of fire and light, which was from another entity, another source. All right? That's natural. That's nature. You came through that. You weren't bred on the planet. You are the extraterrestrials. Why you think, like I said, I keep bringing it back to, why you think you only been walking around with your hair growing up in the air? Why do you think your skin looks like this? Why do you think you don't look like nobody else on the planet? The Chinese, the white man, all the humans look the same. You are the extraterrestrial. Those ETs or those Greys that you talk about, the white man shows, they're more related to him than you are. They are actually advanced humans. This is real. They are actually advanced. The Greys are actually advanced humans. I'm going to take a call. 201, you're on air.
Peace, brother.
Peace.
I just wanted to, identify what you were saying, and everything you're saying is on top, and it's correct. What people don't understand is that in the gene process of us being black, the Kushites, the Ham people, we are gods. When we stand up to overstand that we're gods, then things change. Nothing's going to change until we, as a collective conscious one, make the change. Excuse me. The problem is we're waiting for aliens of reptilian descent. We're waiting for white Jesuses. We're waiting for everything but the truth in us to arrive. And that's part of the great spell. Once we realize we're under a spell, then and only then we can release the tension, the devil, the evils, as they say, which really is just the polar opposite of good.
Mm-hmm.
So once we identify with the enemy, and that enemy is within ourselves, because once we were placed in this carbon, I guess, chamber, which we call Earth, it's a dark elemental past that we cannot identify with, because most third eyes are closed. And I'm going to sum it up really quickly because I know other brothers want to chime in. When the light comes on towards the end of this year, the cycle that we're in, because the cycle is almost up, a lot of brothers are going to awaken, but there are going to be a lot of brothers that are going to go to the far left, and they're showing itself. I don't know if you've been, touched upon the little zombie thing that's going on, and everybody thinks this zombie thing is the living dead returning. This is biological agents that these white people, demons, devils, are placing upon us. It's been written about, and it's been prophesied, so to speak, but it's here now. So, what you're touching on, brother, Bill, because most blacks, they're not going to get it. And I'm going to say this, and whoever's listening, I hope, because most people that are listening, they're enlightened to a certain degree. It's the ones that aren't listening that we need to go out and talk to. Because truth be told, they're going to be back again in this vicious cycle to relive this life all over again.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the thing. A lot of what the people are going through, what our people are going through here, some of them, I always say, if you heard any of my radio broadcasts prior to this, that we are going through an evolution on the planet, even within the so-called black race. So some of our people are going to move to another level where we're going to come out from amongst the black race, and some of our people are going to die in the black race. The black race is finished. They're no different than the white race right now. So it's going to be another group, or a group, that's going to come out of the black race. This is part of an evolution. Just as the white man is looking for his evolution within these aliens and things like that, so too are some of our people who are going to wake up. Because in that word alien, you see the word in. That's a constant in, even with the in keys and the in lils and all that, those lords on the planet. So people are looking to take charge of the planet. People are looking to habitate a planet. So our people, like I said, a lot of our people are going to die out. It's part of this evolution that we in. We some of our people are going to move forward, some won't. I'm only interested in those who are going to move forward. I'm not interested in everybody who. If you got to convince people, it's not for them.
Right. And even the conscious, that's what I said too. Even with the conscious, they still need to raise the vibration a little higher, because even in that midst of understanding that the white man has no soul, and I try to tell people this, the first thing they want to do is defend that. Well, they're called second creation. They're a clone. They're a clone from us. They're a disease from the original creation. So when you take that manifestation and you have a walking corpuscle, what else is he going to do but strive to destroy the true and living? And when we realize that as the conscious alike and the gods to wake up from this, because like you said, take the word alien, all is in that word also. The all is everything. And let's get to the all. The all is space, the fabric of space that we can't even comprehend, because we can't get a piece of space and bring it down here to study. Only thing we can get that's close to space is water, and we can try to study that, but then we're only going to get the 3 elemental compounds. So to understand
I'm going to cut you off. Water is artificial, brother. Water is an artificial element. Water is just for water is just created for biospheres to breed life. The humans, like I said, what we teach is that the so-called black man and the black woman, we're not part of the human creation, nor are we human. We're not part of any of this. We come from beyond this, and we are here now. The humans were bred here on Earth. The white man, the East Indian, the Chinaman, all these beings were bred here. We are actually the actual aliens on the planet. That's why we are treated as outcasts here. And it's not about any racism or anything, because like I tell people all the time, if you think it's a color thing, why is it the white man is close to the East Indians?
Exactly.
They just as dark as us.
Exactly.
So we're not human. That's really what it is. It's a species thing more than it is a racial thing. It ain't got nothing to do with dark or light. It's a totally different species. We are the almond beings.
Right.
Hmm?
It's a consciousness. It's a consciousness that we're trying to raise to. That's why, like you said, it's not skin color. Blackness is. I mean, the melanin that we come from is a blackness. So the overstanding of that is that. But what you're saying, I overstand. And even to build one more time on the water of being illusionary or artificial, water is liquid light. That's all water is. It's liquid light, just like your blood is a liquid light. So once we, as gods, transform that, that just became the physical components in which humans or physical life needs to just sustain itself.
Hmm. Well, the scientists, they never give you the right compound of water anyway, because they don't want you to know that they actually come from two real elements that create an artificial one. They'll tell you H2O or oxygen and hydrogen. However, how is hydrogen or hydro means water? So how do water and oxygen make water? It don't make no sense.
It don't make sense, right. When water is a constant 360, it's going in a circle. It's constantly going from solid to liquid to gas. And water is always looking to return to the source, more water.
Heat, fire. Do you actually know what makes water? What's the compound, the elemental compound of water? Because once you understand the elemental compound of water, you'll understand so-called aliens and all of this stuff. Do you understand
the polar opposite of water? What makes water is fire. The illest height. Put it to you like this: in the overstanding in this life, no different than going to Antarctica and freezing at the most lowest degrees of temperature, being cold. It's like being the hottest of hots. It's the same polarity. Like, why? It's the reason why we're down here as lost gods, to overstand duality. Once we conquer duality, then we'll get past this realm. Then we'll overstand fifth dimensional sight. Right now, we're on third and fourth dimensional sight when most can't see. So once we turn to the next grand,
Well, not all of us. Some of us are dealing with ultra standing now. We went past overstanding. We're dealing with ultra standing now,
which is the light and the sound and the vibration,
and also the everything, meaning beyond understanding, beyond overstanding. The third power of it is the ultra standing. Everything. That's what we dealing with when we say we saying everything now. So. We coming from a fifth dimensional, right? Certain people are going to come, and we're dealing from a fifth dimensional and whatnot, and we seeing everything. We went beyond the gods and the devils and the polarity, and we actually seeing what it is that was being dealt with. That's why we talk about that in the state of mental, that we've actually become receivers or rays on the planet. Some of our people will become receivers and pulling that light and pulling those messages that are coming through the light right now, because it's actually coming to the planet now, and a lot of our people are receiving right now.
Oh, indeed. We're beacons anyway. Not to cut you off. We're born beacons. Our DNA is beacon of light. So what we're talking about right now is we're talking about right sound, right focus, right vibrational, directional change. And like you said, when people open up that third chamber within themselves to receive this, it becomes that much it becomes that much easier for us to get together collectively as one, to say, all right, brother, you're right. Like right now, we've been talking, and nothing has come about to say, well, brother, I don't agree with that. Like, we're on the same page, but when others turn that same page and we all start to see eye to eye, third eye to eye, that's when I say true change will happen. And like you said, there are going to be many left behind, bro. And at this point, we really can't worry about them. You know what I'm saying? And all I'll say to you is keep enlightening. You know what I mean? That's all we can do is just keep enlightening. Because
that's why you see the state of mental symbol that way. Everything is this is we dealing with new millennium or new knowledge coming from beyond the sun right now. That's what we focus on in the state of mental. We're not interested in the past or the present. We're interested in the future.
In the future, indeed. Where we going?
Where we going? We're not interested in what's going on now. That's why we don't look at a lot of this manufactured stuff that the white man puts out, mankind puts out, as far as on aliens and things like that. We see it for what it is. He manufactures a lot of things to sell books, so we're looking beyond that.
Right. I got you.
We're looking beyond that, so.
Definitely. Technology, baby. Technology, brother. That's his game. But definitely uplift, man. It's been a pleasure talking with you.
All right, brother.
Peace.
As we were saying, you have manufactured things in this in this realm that they put out about extraterrestrials. They put out a lot of things about the extraterrestrials to sell books. They put out a lot of things and produce a lot of pictures and whatnot. But like I said, you know that it's real because they've been, like I said, of course we had visitors here. We are the visitors here to this planet. We are the extraterrestrials. We shouldn't be looking for that. The only reason we fascinated with this whole extraterrestrial thing is because the white man brought that out. Ever since religion, that was the first form of him talking about extraterrestrials. You just call it something else. We've been in tune. Now we are not in tune anymore. Our thoughts are low. Can you imagine a advanced being coming amongst Negroes in this state that they in now? Can you imagine that? These niggas be trying to smoke weed with the aliens, trying to get them to smoke weed, trying to bring them down to a low vibration. That's what a lot of these niggas would do. Try to get them to get jobs, try to get them to be educated like them. You couldn't even deal with extraterrestrials that walked amongst you, people like Elijah Muhammad, Dr. York. You understand? You couldn't even deal with those type of extraterrestrial beings who was receiving higher intelligence. So we did have communication. It's just that we don't want to listen based on our own ego. The white man, he opens himself up to receive the grays and the extraterrestrials and things like that. He opens himself up to it. He calls for them. He sends out messages on his satellites. And the word, look at the word satellite. The word light is there. What is the word light there for? To send out light vibrations and pick up light vibrations. You understand? All that's done purposely. Like I said, these beings are walking amongst the human race. They can transfix and transform themselves into humans because they are of the human genetic. It's the same genetic that was bred in water. How is it that you're able to shapeshift? You know how that's possible? The reason you're able to shapeshift is through water. What does water do? Water makes it possible to mold things. When something is in its softest state, when a baby comes out of the womb of the mother, you shape the baby's head. Why? Because it's still fresh from being in water, in the embryonic sac. You understand? That's how these beings are. They're able to shapeshift because they are made in water. You understand that? They can shift into humans because they are of the same genetic, part of the same creation, the same artificial creation. Right? They're not going to come to the natural creation. We have beings that come to us. Who are the beings that come to us? Who are the beings that came to the Dogons when they talked about Amma? Who were the beings that came to the Sumerians when they talked about Enki and Enlil and Anu? Or Anunnaki? Or those Nibiru that came to the ancient Kemites or the Egyptians? Same Amun beings. Same future beings. That's who they were. Your God race. They are your extraterrestrials. They are actually your children. You understand? They are the continuation of your bloodline. Stop looking for Steven Spielberg and all these people and grays and lights and stuff like this and 2001 Space Odyssey. That's all done to fascinate you. That's all done. The white man, he doesn't show, or our people don't see it because those beings are not for us. Those grays are not for us. You understand that? Those beings that the white man is seeing is not for us. If you notice, it's two types of aliens or two types of extraterrestrials. Look at the beings that came toward us, like the long-headed beings that, like the Amma and the Amun and all those beings that came to us. And you look at the beings that came to a white man, little big head grays with black eyes, that he claimed that he saw. Obviously, somebody saw that. Even if he made it up, right? Even if it was if it came out of his imagination, but it means that he had to have an image of it somewhere, right? Even in certain places on the walls in Egypt, they have pictures of grays. They had pictures of them in certain places. These beings have been walking the planet. They've always been ahead of human life. They're far ahead, and the Amun beings are even further ahead of them as their creators. Right? They stay in that form. Oftentimes they come and they'll shape shift and try to shift themselves into humans. They've given the powers that be in the society, they've given them limited things. A lot of times, your so-called grays and what they talk about, they're just basically used as messengers, right? Sometimes they're used as messengers. A lot of times they come into this world and they're looking, like I said, to inhabit a place, inhabit space. You understand? Breathe life. The white man always shows you in these movies these grays. What do they always say? That these grays abducted somebody and had sex with them, or these aliens abducted somebody and had sex. Now, that might be true. Because these grays or these aliens are looking to seed life. That would make sense if they're looking to seed life on this planet. They would, of course, have sex and inbreed with the humans here to seed their life for their new generation here. You understand that? These beings are cold-blooded. Why? Because they came out of water, just like your humans are cold-blooded, because they were bred in water. We are warm-blooded people, hot-blooded people, coming from the sunlight. All human life is cold-blooded. All the reptiles, everything is cold-blooded here, based in the water. So, of course, those grays that come here would be attracted to that life, to that false light. They would be attracted to those lunar beings. Because when we say the moon pulls the tide here, controls the water, right? It would, of course, control the people who were bred in water, right? Makes sense. All this is based in logic. Creations can relate with other creations, right? They can't create with those who they can't relate to those who created them. The humans having a connection, you know, even though, like I said, the God race sends intelligence to the white man to control the planet or keep things in order for time being. Oftentimes, they would send these so-called grays to carry messages. Oftentimes, they would trade things, like the white man said, with them and give them certain intelligence in order for them to stay in power or give them things in trade. These beings were running interference for someone else as messengers. The Amen beings bred life on all planets. They bred human life, or what you call created life, on all planets. When you see all these beings, you talking about grays and all that, they're all human. They're all human. Because I said the word human means created. That's what the word originally meant before they took it into this phrase, into this term, into the Latin, and went it through it, and they changed it to color. But the word originally meant in the ancient Kemetic tongue, created. Hu meant created. Created man. Right? That's what it meant. So they created life on all planets, not just here. They see life on all planets to be workers, to be slaves. That was the whole point. And as these beings advanced on every planet that they created life on, they didn't use them for work anymore because they depleted every resource on their planet. So what did they do? They ended up making ships, and they left. Same way the white man is trying to do now, if you notice that, right? Notice he's starting to deplete all the resources on this planet. Now you got this guy, Richard Branson, Virgin, talking about, oh, yeah, we're going to have these shuttles going to different planets. Why are they talking like that now? Used to be a time where you only heard NASA and them talking about going to goddamn other planets. And you already know he ain't taking you niggas with him. You handkerchief head niggas that love the white man, he ain't taking you with him. Y'all gonna stay here. And, you know, possibly get eaten by niggas, by cannibals. Being that he's spraying stuff on the crops or on their weed or whatever these niggas are smoking or crack, whatever these niggas are taking to eat people's faces off and whatnot. But he's already making plans to leave here. Same way those grays and those beings made plans to leave their planets after the resources on the planet that the Amen beings put there, the resources were depleted. The humans are going through the same cycle, if you notice that. The white man, all of them, they leading the charge. The Russians was leading the charge in the 60s. They knew that this resource was going to be depleted on this planet. And they also know that They also know that this planet can't sustain the life that's here, that it's going to go into another phase. So they're acting in concert with the almond beings and those so-called grays to kill off the population, to bring it down some. They're acting in concert with them because this planet can't sustain all the life that's here. The resources are depleted. So they're trying, like I said, they have different plans. They're following the same plan that the Greys and all these aliens that came here follow. They're looking for new worlds. All right? They even talking about the possibility of creating a moving world, which they copied from the almond beings. Why do you think they came out with that thing of Star Trek, actually creating a biosphere that continuously moves in space? In space. That's what the whole Star Trek thing was. It was based on a ship or enterprise, they called it, that moved in space always. Sometimes they would dock on certain planets, but then the majority of their time was spent on ships. You understand? So that's the future. They're heading into the future. They're trying to go where the so-called Greys are, because the Greys and all those aliens, all they do is travel. They don't have a home planet. They're always traveling through space, through darkness. That's the whole point. They stop here, you understand, to suck some of the resources out of here, and then they leave. They make deals with people. White man doesn't always show you. Notice he'll tell you some of the truth. He'll show you that, well, they'll give us some technology and things like that if we give them this and we give them that. They want things from this planet to keep their world or their ships moving, because they figured that it's better to use these planets, try until they find a planet that's suitable to live on again. It's better to use these planets as filling stations. Certain things that they take from the planet that they can utilize, like crystals, like diamonds, like gold. Same reason why the humans were created, to dig the gold out of the planet. For those almond beings, or Anunnaki, or what you referred to them as back then. It's the same thing today. It's all being utilized. Nothing has changed in the revolution of the human race. They're trying to make an evolution by going to other worlds. They're just following a circle, or following the line of the human race of getting out of here. Like I said, the resources are depleted on this planet. They're making plans. Black people, y'all talking about making contact with aliens and whatnot. Y'all can't even take care of yourselves. You understand that? You can't even get your minds right. Y'all still getting high. Y'all still working for the white man. Y'all not even thinking beyond that. But then y'all got the nerve to talk about making contact with aliens. Are you serious? You actually having these conversations? Now, I know a lot of our people are having these conversations. They thinking on this because they want to get out of here. They feel like that, they need to be back someplace else where, like I said, this was your home. You created this place for the utilization of you as part of the almond race, or the almond beings, the God race. You are the extraterrestrials on the planet, but now you sitting up here acting like you just like the humans. You acting like you're one of them. That's why you sitting up here looking for gods and looking for aliens and things like that. What you should be looking for is the advanced intelligence of who we are as a people and who's bringing that light. The first receivers have passed on into the next realm. Look to the next receiver, the next ray. That was the key in our evolution. We had extraterrestrials coming here amongst us, because we have our own brand that come here. When one brings higher intelligence, he is an extraterrestrial amongst us on the terrain. We'll talk about that when we come back. The first visitors to this planet, this first extraterrestrials, the first ETs to this planet, were the almond beings. They were the first beings to walk on the planet. You understand that? They were the first ones after the planet went into retrograde and everything was going into a creative state, and the rotation, everything after the planet took time to, go through the solar burst here and things, and the water was produced here to cool the planet off. After that, and this rock, this molten rock that you call Earth, hardened. The water hardened it. It was used. Water was produced here to harden the planet after the fire to cool it off and breathe life in the water. The extraterrestrials that walked here were your almond beings. That's what it's talking about in your Bible and talking about, and let us make man in our image and after our likeness. And they walked on the earth. That's almond beings. That's your extraterrestrials. People who were extra beings, extra intelligent, extra beings from beyond this terrain, who were walking on the terrain. They came out like your black men and black women today. Those were your extraterrestrials. The first ones that came down, when they talk about the story of the 200 fallen angels, which is not a new story out the Bible, they've been talked about those 200 fallen beings coming from another world into this planet. After the dinosaurs were killed off, the first DNA, the DNA that was in the planet, was your reptilian DNA. Because remember, the reptilians were killed off through solar showers. They threw meteorites at the planet to kill them purposely, so that they can go into their DNA can go into the planet to help fertilize the planet, okay, and give us fossil fuel we have today. The almond beings have the DNA and the genetics of every being in the universe that you call aliens, because they created them, and they recreate them wherever they go. They create a solar system. They create a planet. They create a water cycle. They create water on the planet, which is an artificial element, which is water, which is actually fire and air. Water is actually comprised of fire and air, fire and oxygen. Understand? It's comprised of these gases and heat to produce water on the planet, right? To breed life. Now, they have the DNA of every species in the universe from all other planets that ended up coming here. This is their creation. So the only real extraterrestrials are the almond beings. It's not the Greys and all of them. Those are just advanced humans. Truth be told, they were bred in water just like the humans. They just came back here, and the humans are more on they're not as advanced as them. You understand? The Greys, or the so-called Greys, are thousands of years more advanced than the humans, but they are still humans. Not because they were bred here on this planet, but any creation that's bred in water on a biosphere or a planet, or on the terrain of a planet that they created, is considered human. The almond beings are the only real aliens. The only real extraterrestrials, because they were not created on the planet. They were created beyond this planet. They are manifestation, and we are the so-called black race of the manifestations of these almond beings. The first of the 200 fallen angels that came down here, when they took on the texture of this atmosphere based on the what's the word I want to use? The soil and the dust particles that were going through the planet, because I explained before that this dust particles that go through the planet, 90% of the dust particles that are flying in the air are dead skin. So if they're dead skin and it's going through the air and it's sifted through the nasal cavity of pregnant women, that's formulating the skin on a person. So when these beings came as light forms or light beings, the 200 fallen angels, the first form they took on was a reptilian form, or a man-reptilian form, because the reptilians were the dominant bloodline and the dominant DNA in the planet. Got a call in. 513. You're on. Hello?
Yeah, what up?
All right.
All right, bro. Man, how do you know all this extraterrestrial stuff, man? I'm just trying to get that.
How do I know it?
Yeah.
Open myself up to it. I am a receiver, brother.
You're a
Do you
receiver?
understand what a receiver is?
Nah, pull me.
Okay. I vibrate on a certain mental frequency where I can receive things. And I made this possible because I cleared my mind out. Now, certain things, certain intelligence was dropped by the former receivers that were here, people like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Dr. York, certain things, but those people who are born 1970 and after are supposed to be receiving higher intelligence or new intelligence that's going further into the future. I happen to be one of them.
Can I teach myself to do it?
Say it now?
Can I teach myself how to receive these messages?
Yeah, you can open yourself up to it, but here's the thing. Are you doing what everybody else is doing here? Are you doing what everybody else here is doing?
Doing what?
As far as, are you indulging in certain things that keep your mind on a low frequency? Because you can't receive higher intelligence if your mind is vibrating on a low frequency.
Should we be afraid of aliens?
Say again now?
Should we be afraid of aliens?
Should you be afraid of aliens? And no aliens bothering y'all. Nobody thinking about y'all.
Do you believe in aliens?
Y'all, the so-called black race, y'all are afterthought. Y'all not being thought of.
Yeah. But, so you're saying that I could be a form of an alien?
I said that the so-called black man and the black woman are the only real aliens on the planet because you don't look like anybody here, nor was the so-called black race created here. You are descendants of an alien race or a god race.
Oh, I wasn't taking a piss or anything. I was just making sure.
Okay. That was your question?
Yeah. I have another question. Like, have they ever touched down on Earth?
Yeah. They've touched down on Earth.
How do we have proof?
How do you have proof? Because of the technology that you have here now. They were messengers of the higher beings who brought the technology. All your technology comes through them, from the God race of the almond beings. But that's your proof. The fact that
Can I call those?
Huh?
Right. Can I call those little
the fact that you actually have. Say again now?
Can I call those little bastards down my house? Because I think one of them touched down. I think I might have saw a UFO.
Okay, well, when you see him, you go give him a message. I don't know what to tell you.
Can I call him out or anything?
Well, you can try. I don't know what they would have, what they would want to talk to you about. You got to find out. So I suggest you go find out.
Can they talk to me in my dreams? Cause they're extraterrestrials.
I'm sure they can. They would have to have a reason to speak to you. If they don't have a reason to speak to you, they're not going to talk to you. That's why I said people always talking about, well, why can't we see them? What reason do they have to talk to you? They got reason to talk to. They got reason to talk to the people in control because they need something from them. They're not here to. And these grays and these beings do come. They're here for business. They're here to do things. There's a reason for them communicating with the people they communicate with. They ain't got no reason to communicate with you. You're not in power. And there's no disrespect. You would be considered nothing to them.
My nigga, can you look?
Huh?
Bro, do you think that they have a green or a white dick?
All right, brother. Take care of yourself. All right. I really would hope that people not smoking stuff when they call here. I don't want to hear nonsense. Okay. This is a serious broadcast, so I don't need stupidity. This is exactly why any advanced beings don't contact or communicate with our people, because of stupidity, simple-minded things. They come here, these beings mean business. They're not here to play, just like the God race is not here to play. Like I said, the majority of our people, like I said, they bugged out their goddamn mind. They bugged out their goddamn mind, and they think they're supposed to see some beings. And I'm like, for what's the purpose? What's the point? You can't do nothing for them. Hell, I feel them. I understand. I wouldn't come to black people. Hell, I hate. I don't want to come deal with black people myself. You understand? I deal. That's why I say we deal with the bright race, those who are amongst the black race. I understand exactly how they feeling. You know, because like I said, niggas will give you hell. Simple-minded questions, you know, stupidity, you know, talking through a hazed up, high up state, or just vibrating on a low mental frequency, and they can feel that because they were bred to be intelligent beings, intelligent artificial life forms. You understand? You know, and like I said, our people are saying, you know, are linking themselves to that alien state, you know, but like I said, what is it really doing? What are they really doing? You have to be doing something or working in concert with a higher state of intel to be a vessel. If you're not working in tune or in concert with something, like if you notice when the Greys or when those beings come here, they come in groups. They move in groups. You understand? They move in groups. The white man, he moves in groups like them. They move in groups. They move in a collective, in a community. You niggas can't get together. You know, you are broken vessels. You niggas are shattered to pieces. Y'all broken vessels. Y'all broken mentally and physically. Because you niggas smoke that weed. You niggas, y'all bugged out your mind. You only want to talk to some aliens because you probably want to ask stupid questions. You know, or you want to sit around and just you know, your mentality is low. So it's hard for you to receive frequency. It's hard for them to transmit to you like they did the Dogons, like they did the ancient Kemites and things like that, because they were serious people. You niggas are cartoon characters. Yeah, y'all not even real. You know, you can't get together. You can't decide on what y'all want to be. You got too many different philosophies that you got from the goddamn white man, and he just fed you niggas so that y'all can sit up here and just act like asses. You know, y'all and just ask dumb questions. You know, you're not going to receive anything higher unless you stop with this madness. You know, y'all still focused on the past. That's another reason why no high frequency is coming to y'all. These beings are not communicating with y'all. Not saying they would anyway, but that's the biggest reason, because y'all focused either on the past. You still talking about Egypt. You niggas still walking around wearing costumes. You understand? And they done moved on. That's the reason why the white man sees these aliens, because he's constantly focusing. He's trying to focus on the future. He's trying to focus on the future of whatever his revolution is going to be. So they're dealing with him. Y'all still focused on Egypt and walking around with namuzes and headdresses, or you niggas bugged out in the present because you, like I said, you believe you trying to be Americans and you trying to vote and you worry about your 401k plan, or can I get a date, or do I need a man, or some stupidity, some simple-minded nigga nonsense, or you still talking about God and Jesus and the devil, or some simple-minded nigga nonsense that you got from the white man, and then you think some highly intelligent beings are going to take you seriously? You understand? In what world? You know, put the weed down, put the goddamn PlayStation down. You understand? Stop with the nigga nonsense. Then you'll start receiving higher frequency. I blocked everything out to receive what I'm receiving. I stand on this because, like I said, I don't play when it comes to receiving intelligence. I opened myself up because I had to throw everything out, throw out all the garbage. I'm not interested in what's going on in this society. I'm focused on the future. That's why I receive and I can talk about this. I don't have to make things up. I don't have to piggyback off of what somebody else said. I'm dealing with future intelligence and what these beings are coming here to do. They're giving the white man and the human race, certain ones of the chosen of the human race, they're giving them knowledge to move on. That's why, like I said, why you see the white man, people like it's becoming a regular thing. When you see Richard Branson, the white man who started Virgin Mobile and Virgin Records over there in England, he's talking about setting up a place where you could go different planets and whatnot. Because that's another thing they're going to do also. They're going to start transporting the populace of people off of this planet. It's another thing they're going to do. They're going to they're going to have prison planets where they're going to transport people that they don't want here off of this planet. A lot of you niggas are going to think, oh, you know, I'm going to get a free trip to Mars or Venus or where they setting it up and whatnot. It's going to be a prison colony where you're not going to come back. That's real. The Greys are giving them instructions on how to build certain things. They're going to show them things on how to make other planets habitable. You understand? In exchange for them to be able to come here. A lot of stuff is being set up amongst you. But if you tune in, you can hear it. You understand that? This is a warning to the so-called bright ones amongst the black race. Because like I said, the black race, they just not going to get it. They caught up in the past and the present. This is for the future thinkers. This is knowledge of future thought, knowledge of mentellect. Knowledge of mentellect on the alien, or the so-called aliens, which are actually the humans. You understand? They got, like I said, the Greys got more in tune with the human beings than you do. They are the same. They were all artificial. They were all bread and water. You understand that? They have a race that they follow. And they're trying to win the race. 513. 513, you're on the air.
Hey.
51. Hello.
Hi.
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
Yo, what up, niggas?
Yeah. Well, like I said, stupidity. See? Stupidity. Hang up. We are gonna play a little bit of music. Like I said, I'm doing this for you brothers and whatnot who wanted to hear this broadcast. I would like y'all to call in and whatnot, so I could key down on the stupidity. You got this guy from 513. Please don't call back here with stupidity. Go smoke some weed somewhere. Go play the PlayStation or something simple-minded. Don't call back here. I'm trying to be. This is a serious broadcast. Go down the dial at Nigga Nonsense Radio and listen to the Matrix and niggas talking about the Matrix or Africa or beating on drums. This is Future Intelligence Radio. If you don't have anything intelligent to say, don't call here. Don't waste my time because I'm gonna put your number on blast next time you call here. Don't do that. Don't waste my time. Go waste somebody else's time somewhere else. I'm sure you got a lot of homies whose time you could be wasting, nigga. We'll be right back. When you see all of these, you're talking about reptilians and all that, and that the Greys are a form of reptilian. Yeah, they are a form of reptilian because they were bread and water. All humans are a form of reptile. Anything that's bread and water is a form of reptile. Any life form that's bread and water is a form of reptile. Because a reptile is only one who is bread and water or lives in water. That is considered to be a reptile. Now, I know you're talking about fish and sharks and whatnot. They don't consider them reptiles and things like that. And, but in actuality, they are. They are a form of reptile. Your chickens, your birds, they're all reptiles. They're all domesticated reptiles, because I said the almond beings carry the DNA of all the reptiles and all the life forms. When you're talking about the different aliens here on this planet that you've seen, the reptilians, the Greys, all these beings that they talking about come to this planet, they were nothing but creations of the almond beings, science projects that they threw into the water just like the humans. They made all kinds of mutants. They made all kinds of beings and whatnot, mixed animals with their mixed animal genetics with their genetics to get the human. That's why the white man and the rest of the human race got hair like animals. They got fur. That's not hair on their head. You actually have, like I said, the almond beings have hair, which is protein that's heated by air. That's what hair is. Protein that is heated by air, which became hair. Hair raises, grows up, not down. That is an animal genetic or an animal trait. You understand that? They were engineered. These so-called aliens that you talk about, these Greys and these reptilians, are engineered beings from the almond race. Science experiments. Same thing the way the white man was doing, where he showed you on the island, Dr. Moreau, where he just started, because he copied that from the almond beings, where he started making all these mixing dogs and cats and all kind of pigs, all kind of stuff they were doing here. First, the scientists in Egypt and Kemet, they were doing that. They were mixing in, splicing, doing genetic splicing on animals and people and stuff. They were doing genetic splicing. That's what the almond beings did. That's where the white man got, he got that from them. This is all passed down knowledge that the white man is doing right now. You understand? Genetic splicing and all that, breathing life in water. All of this it's all passed down knowledge. These are where your so-called aliens come from. They were life that was bred in other worlds. You understand? When I talked about the reptilians, the first reptilian men to walk the planet, and women, they were your West Africans. Why I say that is because in that life form, the first beings of the 200 fallen angels, or the so-called 200 fallen almond beings that came down here as light forms or heat forms, they picked up all the DNA that was still left in the planet after the reptilians were destroyed, and they took it on in flesh, and they looked like reptilians. That's why some of the first beings they show you here in Egypt in the wall, they were green. You understand? They say it had to do with chlorophyll in the blood and whatnot and all of this other business. Yeah, but actually it was because of the reptilian DNA in the planet that they took on. The chlorophyll and the chlorophyll and all this stuff in the plants is the reptilian blood and the reptilian life. You understand that? And they took it on when they came down here. That's why your Africans, when you look at them, they see the ones who blue black looking and whatnot, they actually have almost a green tint to them. That's why they eat heavy beef like that. That's why they eat a lot of blood and starch, because they're reptilians. They're descendants of reptilians. That's why they have extra strength. I'm talking about your ones who are like Idi Amin in them. The Nubians came down in the east. You understand? We came down in the east. They came down in the west. That's why your Africans have a primitive mentality, not an advanced way of thinking. They came down and they took on the DNA of the reptiles that were walking on the planet. Their blood is still their blood and their DNA was still in the earth when these beings came down. That's why they're different from us. They have more of an aggressive nature. That's why a lot of them do the cannibalism. They're heavy meat eaters like the reptiles. Same bloodline, same genetic. Different places of habitation. You understand? We got pictures we show of the Africans, and they have this look to them. The West Africans have this look to them. They got a reptilian look to them. A lot of them have an alien look to them. It's in their DNA. You understand? All these beings that you talk about, they were created here. Brother said something funny. He said this almond energy is driving a lot of these Negroes crazy. It is. It is going to drive a lot of them crazy. You starting to see niggas eating people's faces and whatnot. You know, the white man, he putting stuff in the drugs they probably smoking or whatever and turning these niggas into cannibals. They losing their mind. That guy that was eating the guy's face wasn't the only thing. Now you got a lot of our people, they bugging out their damn mind. Some of our people are going to raise mentally. Others are going to go backwards. You understand? Some of them are going to make stupid phone calls. You know, they're going to smoke their weed until they smoke their brains out because, like I said, this energy that's going through the planet, this intelligence that's going through the planet is going to either advance certain people or it's going to drive certain people mad. And that's what you're seeing right now. They're feeding off of that low vibration. You understand? Don't be surprised if your best friends and whatnot, they just start saying and doing bugged out stuff and going crazy. Because this is part of the evolution. They're supposed to start taking each other out. The almond beings are sending the frequency through this planet. They know what's going to happen. The Greys and all these aliens that come to the white man, they're giving them the blueprint on how to survive and how to travel in space because they are here actually for them. They're not here for you. The Greys and all these beings that you keep saying when you ask it, well, why is it that they don't contact black people? They're not here for you. You're not their people. Same way I told you, the white man, the East Indian, the Arabs, the Chinese, they're not your people. The so-called Native Americans are not our people. Just because you got some of their blood intermingled in yours don't mean they're your people. You understand? They won't accept you. Same way the Greys and all those beings that are here. That's their people. They have a creational connection, meaning that they are of the created beings. They are of the artificial race. So that's their connection with each other. This is why they come here and contact them directly. That's their people. That's their people. That's the Greys are actually their elders. And when I say their elders, I mean they are the advanced ones to the white race and the rest of the humans. That's their guides. You understand? See, the humans, they don't want to die on this planet. They want to go to other worlds. They want to explore it like the Greys do. They was talking about this, like I said, in Star Trek when Captain Kirk and all them, they wanted to do the same thing. Notice in the story of Captain Kirk and them, of Star Trek, they took the black woman. The rest of the white man was there, the Asian man was there, but they took the black woman. They didn't take the black man. You understand that? She was there. They even went to a planet one time where it was funny, but they didn't want to run that one. They went to a planet one time, Captain Kirk, because so the whole show was them going to other planets. They was always moving on the ship, and they was going to other planets. They went to a planet one time. They did a story, but they never aired it. They shot it, but they went to a planet where the black people was controlling the whole planet, and the whites were like in servitude. You understand? They didn't want to show that episode. All right? They didn't want to show that. What they ended up doing was making a movie like Planet of the Apes, talking monkeys and stuff like that, and they was trying to make reference to black people. You are out of tune, our people. We're supposed to be receiving frequency from our own extraterrestrial beings, which are our ascendants. Don't get hung up on that word extraterrestrial. All it means is beings who are extra or have extra capabilities on the terrain. The word terrain is means earth. Understand? From the word terra. I believe it's a Greek word. You understand? That's all it means. Your extraterrestrials are actually supposed to be your ascendants. The ones who made it through all of the things that we're going to endure in the future. And they start to come back and send you communication. You understand? But y'all want to be linked up with the Greys. You want to see big heads and black eyes and all that madness. Because the white man do it. Y'all do stuff like this. You understand? You ain't got no reason for it. You just want to do it because you want to connect a contact with them because the white man do it. The ascendants. Your children, your grandchildren. Those are your ETs. Those are the ones that's supposed to be connecting with you now. That's why I tell you in the state of mental, worry about the future. Don't forget the hell with the past. The white man try to keep you on the past and on the present. Worry about the future. That's why I said, this lady asked me, well, what do you teach in your knowledge of your so-called knowledge of, she had to be a smart ass. What do you teach in your so-called knowledge of intellect that's different from everybody else? I said, we teach on future. We focus on the future. We teach future thought. You understand? We teach future thought. Nobody else is teaching about the future. Not amongst our people. You niggas that's teaching about the future today, you getting some knowledge from the white man and his information. You understand? You getting some knowledge from the white man and his made up information on aliens and stuff like that. He's not going to tell you the truth about what the aliens really are. You understand? You got it tonight on this broadcast, what those so-called Greys and aliens actually are. And why they're here and why they're communicating with them. Yes, Jack, I'm talking about the progeny. I'm speaking about our children. You understand? I'm talking about the progeny, our children. They are the extraterrestrials. You are the extraterrestrials. You understand? This is who the extraterrestrials are that are supposed to be communicating with you now. This is where I receive my intelligence from. You understand? I'll say it, and I stand on it. I don't give a damn who think I'm full of crap. That's fine. Nigga, don't listen. I'm not here to appease nobody. I'm receiving intelligence from the future. I'm an open window for intelligence in the future because we're supposed to be future beings. We always supposed to be in a state of thinking in the future. And I came to bring my people future thought. You know? Well, the Chinese, they not focused. They focused on the Chinese. They are focused on their so-called revolution. You know what I'm saying? There's no evolution for them. It's, you know, like I said, they like the humans. Our future is not the same as theirs. You understand? Our future is totally different from everybody's. You know, they think about generations and whatnot, but you are descendants of the God race. The ascendants are your children and your those are your extraterrestrials we supposed to be linking to. They're the ones that looking at us now and shaking their goddamn heads. Why? Because as I'm trying to breed a higher intelligence amongst our people, I'm not trying to be the next conscious speaker. I'm not trying to be the nigga that's talking about Egypt and Africa or what's going on with the white man and the government and the miseducation of our children. I don't want to hear that BS. I was about to say the whole word. Yeah, I don't want to hear that. We don't need to hear the same crap over and over again about how the white man's miseducating our kids. We are evolving. Yes, sir. We are evolving into them. You understand? They are us and we are them. We're supposed to be evolving. Our evolution, I always say our evolution has been interrupted. I came to bring the evolution through the knowledge of intellect, future thought, future evolution. You understand? I'm not interested in what these niggas talking about from the past. I'm not interested in Egypt no more, Africa and all that. I'm done talking about. I only make reference to it, you know, because a lot of our people are still there. But I'd rather not. I don't want to hear anything about what the white man doing to our kids and miseducating our kids and how he turned the kids into faggots and lesbians. I don't give a damn. I'm interested in the progeny, in the future. That's it. That's what makes us different in the state of mental from everybody else. These niggas ain't talking about the future. They talking about the future that the white man, the information that the white man provides them about the future. These niggas still talking about the chip and the Illuminati, and the damn white man moved on. Or some goddamn big head grays and whatnot. And, you know, he moved on. He just put that stuff out there to sell books to you. No, we talking about the real of what it really is here. Something that's going to make sense. The state of mental is the only movement that's talking about this future intelligence. Don't lump us with anybody else. We drawing the line for a reason. I tell a sister and I tell a brother before, I said, look, I'm not interested in hearing none of these other niggas talk about nothing. Or the white man, any of these niggas. I don't want to hear none of them talk about nothing. Because it's BS. All of it's BS. It's all low frequency bull. You understand? Just to get you coming to conferences and all kind of BS. To hear the niggas talk about the same thing over and over in a rotation, or hear some white man or some nonsense that they talking about to catch your attention when you should be focused on the goddamn progeny, the future race. These babies, they watching us. They are the almond beings. They are the God race. They are extraterrestrials. Not no goddamn E.T. big head gray. That's the white man's elders. That's why they come to him. That's why they communicating with him. They're not here for you. Exactly. Memorize mumbo jumbo, brother. That's right. Egypt, Africa, Moorish science, all this nonsense. We done with that, man. We supposed to be focused on the babies, on the future, teaching them the knowledge of intellect, making them the next doctors and lawyers and things like that, bringing a higher knowledge and evolution to this planet. You notice none of these niggas talk about that. Everybody want to talk about beyond the skies and the stars and the aliens and Sirius A and Sirius B, some junk they got from the damn white man. But nobody wants to do nothing small, just as small as educating the babies, building a school for the babies so they can learn the basics. Nobody wants to do that. Everybody want to be God, you know, the devil, but you can't even educate your babies. You understand that? That's where it starts. That's where it starts. That's the evolution right there. They should be 15 and 14 years old going to college to be doctors, to be engineers. You understand that? This is what you should be focused on. They should be watching films on on human DNA and our DNA from the time they 5 years old, not watching no goddamn Sesame Street. That's how you create the God race. That's how you speed up their intelligence. I put a quote in Facebook, and I said, you know what? I said, God damn it, they supposed to be sitting up here. I said, how you niggas say you want to be gods and goddesses and whatnot. How you do that is you look at what the damn white man and the rest of the mankind is doing on the planet. The highest thing, I don't care if it's science, I don't care if it's math, I don't give a damn what it is. I don't care if it's medicine, I don't care if it's whatever it is he's doing. Look at that, learn that, go to school for that, then think beyond that. You understand that? That's what you're supposed to do. That's what the almond beings are supposed to be doing. That's how you. That's breeding the extraterrestrial. You're supposed to be breeding them. You're supposed to be making them more intelligent in your thing. They supposed to look back at you and be like, damn, my great grandfather was primitive. Damn, they was primitive. But at least they was trying to get us to go. And they looking back at you now. You understand? I'm here, like I said, to bring out that intelligence through me to you about them, about what's really going on. I'm not here to be somebody holding up the radio and speaking and whatnot, just to be talking. I'm not here for that. I'm not here to be the next speaker and the conscious thing. The hell with all that, man. Past and present are always supposed to be looked at through a rear view mirror as we moving into the future. That's real talk. Real. Reality. The extraterrestrials are what we're supposed to be breeding in your children. You're supposed to be breeding extraterrestrials out of your bloodline. You black women that's sitting around here laying down with these low-frequency niggas, you understand? You ain't going to breed no extraterrestrial from that. Some smoked-out weed-head nigga with enough chemicals in his semen where he biting off niggas' faces. You understand that? That's what these niggas doing right now. Because these niggas, that's drugs. That's being done purposely to stop you from breeding the extraterrestrials, the God race, bringing them back or bringing them forward here, I should say. Not back, the ascendants. Not the ancestors, not the Egyptians, not some nigga walking around with a towel on his head. You understand? Not somebody walking around with feathers on their goddamn head still. You understand that? Good question. Why are the ships always appearing in the West? West of where? Africa? Where? Or in here in America? Put the question up, Kingdom. I'm going to answer that question. If you're talking about here in America, this is where all the influence is. In the U.S., this is where the influence is. This is where all the intelligence is because you're here. The intelligence is here. The white man, he was putting power, he's governing the world through his English, which is really not his language. That's the language of the almond beings, because I said the English was actually the English. You know what I'm saying? From the lords on the planet, they're actually moving that language ahead. It's actually an evolution into the Mentelian and the almond language. You understand? There's no such thing as English. There's no such thing as no white language. You understand? They got taught how to speak, like I said. So all the intelligence is actually focused here because everybody's here. You understand? Everybody's here in this society like no other. You know? You're being sent frequencies, but y'all so low on the totem pole mentally. Y'all so smoked out on weed and everything else. Like I said, y'all supposed to be receiving these frequencies. Y'all supposed to be receiving these frequencies from the almond beings. They are ETs. Your children, your grandchildren, they trying to send messages. You know? They trying to send messages. They're going to use a few of you or one of us. They're going to use us for some of us for rays or receivers. That's supposed to be for us. They sending messages, light messages. So a lot of times if you see ships hovering, sometimes it might be the U.S. They might be trying to, they sitting up here making ships so they can move, so they can leave. They have the technology from the Greys and all them. They elders. Whereas we supposed to be tuning in and actually getting this thing ready for something else. We have our own evolution to deal with. Don't worry about the white man. They move it. They not going. They moving right in the revolution. They moving right as what they and the rest of the human race. They ain't just the white man. It's the human race. They moving just as long, right along the line, or the same in the same circle as the Greys and all of those aliens that they claim to see so much. Because they do see them. Like I said, they was telling you what they plan on doing. They plan on just moving in an enterprise on a starship, just moving from planet to planet, same way the Greys and all of them do. You know, never docking, trying to create a biosphere on a planet, which they actually got from the almond beings. You know, you can create a planet that actually moves in space, because that's all Earth is. It's a biosphere. It's a small biosphere that's constantly moving in space and rotating around the sun. That's all it is. It produces elements that these ETs are attracted through sunlight. Sunlight gives rise to all these elements in the planet. They popped all these things here like seeds in the planet to produce gold and diamonds and things like that as receivers and things like that. They popped all this stuff here and dropped it into the earth, let the earth wash it up, and they let the heat hit it to produce. Yep. Organic space stations. That's what they use the planet for. They always tell you that when they tell you these Greys, they built Egypt for a space station. All that space, all these things were meant here to be drop-off points, landing for things to pick things up and leave. That's all this planet is for these beings. They make deals with the people in power and they leave. That's what they do. They find the people that they most connected to, like I said, they went to the white man. You understand? And they left. They send intelligence to our people in a different way. They'll send it through messages, through frequency. With a lot of white men, like I said, they'll send them as messages. The Greys as messengers. The almond beings will send them as messengers to the humans, or they have to pick it up on the satellite. But that's what the thing is with the humans. They were trying to connect with those almond beings of that God race by things like meditation and stuff like that. But we didn't have to do that. You know, the sun is only used to pass frequencies, and it's used to raise things on the planet. It's meant to be the light to raise things on the planet, the heat and the light to raise things here, to grow things out of the planet. That's it. You know, and like I said, to give it light, to give it heat, to bring things up out of the planet. This is a planting station. This is all planet. Look at the word planet. Plant. All utilized to plant things here. They planted people here. You understand that? They planted gold here. They planted elements to make gold here. They planted everything here. They planted the reptilians here and killed them. You understand? To produce something for the next phase. Just like a lot of humans are going to be killed to produce something for another phase. Some of you niggas going with them. You know? Yeah, this planet is a conductor. But the conductors are actually supposed to be the almond beings. Light comes to this planet based on you. Some of you anyway. Why? Because you have a solar plex. Your solar plex is in a magnetic alignment with the sun's rays that come to this planet. That's another reason why the beast brought you here, and why a lot of the intelligence came out of this hemisphere. You understand that? It connects to your solar plex. You pull light, you pull intelligence to you. If you notice over in places like Europe and things like that where it's a lot of white people, you don't really see nothing over there, right? You ever notice that? Place like Sweden, they ain't got a damn thing over there. They just, like I said, they just all cold and it's all dead over there. If they got something over there, they got it from the West, they got it from the white man here. But they don't got nothing over there. Nothing really came out of there. Or England and stuff like that. These places are dead. Wherever you see the beast at, just by himself, it's dead over there. There's no real connection coming here. The connection came here because you were here. You understand? You pull light, you pull frequency, you pull messages. You are the ETs. But y'all want to be niggas. Or you want to be humans. Or you want to be Muslims and Christians and all these things from the past that the beast told you was. Because when you calling yourself a human, a Muslim, a Christian, an African, all that nonsense, you actually limit yourself. You're saying, okay, I'm not an almond being, I'm not from the God race. I'm actually what these people told me I am. I'm limiting myself. That's really what it is. You know? That's really what it is. Hell, if the prescription drugs you taking is that weed a lot of you niggas smoke. That's the prescription drug. That's the chemical. You understand? That's why I said a lot of y'all brains are getting fried with the frequency that's going through here. You know? It's like pouring. You know what it's like? Like I said, you see all people doing all kind of bugged out stuff. It's like actually pouring. It's like pouring paint inside your computer. What's going to happen? Your memory chips are going to be covered with garbage. It's the same thing when you smoke the weed. Like I said, your frequency is going to go low because of the chemical on it. Those are your prescription drugs, along with other things, whatnot. But it's all being done purposely to dumb you down. They had to put heroin, all this stuff in your neighborhood so that you would not receive. You understand? So that you would not receive. All that was the drugs in your community, the guns, the stupid nigga nonsense music that you listen to, all that's being done purposely. It's all concentrated on your community. Niggas talking about all the old things from the past. All that's done purposely to keep you from focusing on the future. That's done purposely, and a lot of y'all fall for it. You understand? Focus on the progeny. Focus on the ascension. Those are our extraterrestrials. Your babies are the extraterrestrials. You are the extraterrestrials. You're breeding the God race, the extraterrestrials. Stop looking for some goddamn ETs and whatnot because you saw ET and you niggas got fascinated with that and these stupid stories with the white man and him talking about the woman talking about somebody molested her and had sex. Stop being fascinated by this stuff. They're nothing but creations. That's all. They're no different than the white man and the rest of the human race. That's it. Questions, comments. We down in the last 17 minutes of this broadcast. Like I said, I know a lot of people tune into this thing because you want your mind blown and stuff like that. And yeah, it is pretty heavy. But understand that these beings are not here to deal with you. They're not here for our people. They're not interested in our people because we moving on a whole different other frequency. You know, they see you, they might run from you. You understand? They might run from our people. You know, for the simple fact, like I said, they don't recognize you. You know, they don't recognize you. If you see these beings, if you see these grays and whatnot, they're gonna go about their business. You understand? They're going to go about their business. They are here for the evolution of these beings, of these people here, the human race. They're here to help them. They're here to make deals with them. You know, that's why they don't communicate with you. They're not here to. The human race is trying to survive. And in order for them to survive, they're going to have to slow down the evolution of a lot of people. If you've seen that movie, that movie that, what's the name made, the last, what is that, The Knowing? Notice how they try to mix in a little bit of the religious message, right, with the, they mixed in the religious message with the extraterrestrial thing, where these extraterrestrials came, destroyed everybody on the planet, and let the little white boy and white girl breed in order to bring a new life. You understand that? So we know that the grays were created by the almond beings, life forms. You know? They are the messiahs to these people. You know? The messiah that you talking about that everybody's actually waiting on is really an extraterrestrial. That's who that is. You have the true Messiah, Christ, or whatever you want to call, is coming out of the almond genetic. You understand? The Greys know that. Everybody, the humans know that. They know that the God or the supreme being is coming. That's real. The Messiah, Messianian. They know. They was waiting for it. They, or the so-called extraterrestrials, are the ones who are in intervention. You know, they're here and they're focusing on helping the humans, because the humans, like I said, they have a will to survive. They were bred with a will to survive. You know, they were bred with a will to move forward. You know, fighting against certain things, even if they have to mix their genetic with you. A lot of them are being directed by these so-called Greys to mix their seed with you, or to slow down your evolution. The Greys were actually the ones that told them about you being the God race, even though they knew it already when they saw all that stuff in Egypt. But they were told by these beings that you were of the God race to work on slowing you down. Because in slowing you down, by slowing you down, they slow down the evolution of the planet. By keeping you off-centered mentally, they slow down the evolution of the planet. By giving the humans a jump on knowledge that you're supposed to be receiving, they're slowing down the evolution of the planet. You understand? However, a new light is here. A new light is being received from those who are the receivers or the rays. Same way there was an Amun Ray who is the real Messiah, comes and is going to receive higher intelligence to guide the 1% into the light of intelligence by the knowledge of mental light. It's the same way that these people are looking for their Messiah to come from these Greys to save their progeny, their genetic. Because the almond beings, they'll destroy everything on the planet and start over. That's how they do. This is what the future is for our people. Raise the almond beings. Raise the ascension. Raise the frequency. Move forward. Breed the extraterrestrials on Earth. Start looking at your children, examining them. Look at them as they're being born. They're not going to resemble you after a while. They're going to have a futuristic look. Me, myself, I chose to have children in the new millennium for a reason. I didn't choose to have children from the last millennium. This is all being done purposely. All this is being focused on purposely. Questions, comments? Questions, comments? We are down. How many minutes we got? How many minutes we got? We got 12 minutes. Questions, comments. Like I said, this is my broadcast. Not my broadcast, I meant to say our broadcast. Slip of the tongue. It wasn't Freudian, but it was slip of the tongue. You know, I don't believe in nothing that guy Freud said. But anyway, questions, comments on the almond beings, on our ascension, on our progeny, the true extraterrestrials on the planet. You understand? Anything, any questions on that? That's what I'm interested in, breeding the extraterrestrials amongst ourselves and the children. That's our interest in the state of mental. It's not about the Greys and whatnot. Like I said, we got nothing to do with them people. You know, we got nothing. How advanced are they if the white man could kill them? They had them over. They had the bodies of some Greys over Area 51, according to the story. You understand? You know, I tell you, look in the news feed, you'll see where that I got all these Greys up here. If you notice, the Greys, they don't have any sex organs. That's what I meant to talk about. They don't have sex organs. You see how small, like, they got this, like, the slit between. They don't have you don't know who's the male or the female. They don't have sex organs. Funny thing about that is that follows right along the lines of humans and why the humans' penises are small as opposed to the almond. And the human woman's shape is not intact. And her sex organs are small. If you look at our people, the almond beings, we were designed a certain way. The men were designed naturally from heat procession through our blood, which is why our penises are stronger and hang longer and go longer, why the women are shaped with hips that was carved out onto this as we came into this form on this planet. That was all thought out as we came into this form to breed a God race, a progeny. So that was supposed to be in a continuation. You understand that? The thing that slowed us down to get where we are is a lot of our people still dip down into this mindset with the humans. Much as I get up here and I bang on the drum about our people not being of the human race, that we are actually almond beings, a lot of our people are still not going to accept that. A lot of you still going to vibrate on a low mental frequency. A lot of you still think y'all human, or you do human things. You might say you're not human, but you still do human things. We have to breed that out of our mentality first and foremost. Like I said, reason why you doing human things is because a lot of the black race, especially your so-called educated and your so-called conscious, are teaching that we are human. So that right there tells you that they influenced by the beast. But future knowledge tells us in the state of mental that we're not human. We are of the almond race. And any of these niggas say, oh, we're not human, they can never tell you what exactly we are. We from Sirius A, we from Sirius B, no. We are the almond beings. Just as you have human beings, you have an almond being. We are the next species. We are the advanced species on the planet. But now, because we are thinking of ourselves as human, we are moving with the beast. We laying with him, mixing our seed with them, desiring his women, the Asian, white, some Latinos, and the rest of them. We desiring their women, and we don't look to our own progeny. We losing our connection. Now, like I said, to the so-called black woman out there, or the so-called black man out there, this sounds crazy. I said it's supposed to sound crazy to you. I want it to sound crazy to you and the rest of the people that's listening who's not in tune. It's supposed to sound like that. But you living in the world, keep in mind, you living in the world where these niggas is eating each other's faces off. This is your world that you think is real. That's actually being controlled. That's actually being manipulated for people to do this. This is the world you live in. This is the world you live in where you niggas still talking about Egypt and Africa and walking around with headdresses on and robes on and dyeing your beards red. That's the real world to you. Or you talking about voting rights and getting land in this society. You niggas still ain't gave it up yet. If you are those people who are thinking in future thought, if you are those people who want to live into the future and produce that new progeny, get the hell away from these niggas. That's my advice to you. You worrying about the damn white man, the hell with him. Get away from these niggas. Get away from these niggas, these conscious and educated niggas. And just the general nigga trash that's in your neighborhood getting high or calling in and making stupid comments. Because they ain't got nothing better to do. The PlayStation probably broke. You understand? Or the weed man ain't come yet. Stop being amongst these niggas with these low frequency niggas. You want to produce the extraterrestrials, the real God race. You black women need to close your legs to these low frequency niggas. That's how you're going to produce the God race, lay with high frequency beings. You want to meet the extraterrestrials. Cut your conversation off and stop promoting these niggas who constantly talking about the past and the present. You should be focused on the future if you truly want to be in tune and become those extraterrestrials that you meant to be. Stop sitting amongst these goddamn niggas who have begged their way into the human race. They've made a contract. You understand? And it's going to come a time. It might come a time where the Greys might sacrifice them. If they let me tell you something. The Greys tell the white man and the rest of the humans they got to sacrifice a lot of you niggas, and they'll do it. In fact, I was going to say something, but I'm not. Think about certain things when you niggas turn up on trees and stuff and hang in certain places. You know, you being sacrificed for something. You know, you being sacrificed for something. Think about that. You know, you are the real fuel that moves in the planet. You are the real receivers. The real high frequency beings. Understand this. Communication has been made with our people. Higher frequency is coming through our people at this point. However, some of our people are just not going to get it. Some of them are going to be eternally caught in this form. Some of them desire to be with the humans. Some of them desire to be on the same frequency as the humans. And the humans are on a higher frequency than you. Everything that you have in this society, all your thoughts are being designed by him. We're in the last 5 minutes. I'm going to end this broadcast. Join us Monday. I don't know what the broadcast is going to be yet. All right? But it's going to be something good, of course. I'm going to play an old classic. All right? It's called Twilight. Twilight Zone by a group called Manhattan Transfer. I love this song so much. I am the intellectual Nuben Menkares. I want to thank my technical advisors, Josh the Blade Rhodes, and Maximum Max Justice, and the sister who produced this music or brought this music to us, Sister Amina. To everybody out there in the listening audience, see you Monday, 9 p.m., same State of Mintel channel, same State of Mintel time at 9. Good night.